So I'm Alyse,
And I'm John.
and we are part of the Heart of Austin Homes team here in
Austin, Texas. And it's time for...
Surprise! We're the Heart of Austin Homes team in San Francisco. Just kidding.
Well, like the San Francisco of Texas, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, kind of. It really is. The city council's just like separate video, maybe.
Separate video.
Okay.
It's a whole other video.
But today
We're going to talk about our hot or not
update.
Market update for the city of Austin, Texas. And surprise, surprise.
well, for October, right?
Yeah, exactly. And to get the stats for all of September, you have to be into October. So when we talk about October's hot or not, it's related to September stats.
All the stats for September.
Exactly. Everything that went down in September.
Man, it just keeps on staying weird.
It does.
You know,
It
they
does.
say keep it weird.
So we're going to
talking
start.
about the housing market.
I know. We're going to start at full Austin, and we're going to zoom into South Austin. So let's kick it.
Okay, let's get the numbers.
So available homes, number of single family available homes in all of Austin to purchase
Yep.
right now, 2,499.
2,500.
And I believe that's the entirety of the MLS.
Yes, that's it.
We're
Changing up a little bit. The
Yeah.
stats are being pulled slightly
Ins-
differently, but the
instead of
numbers are relatively
City of Austin,
still
yeah.
the same. So
Because
we'll get to that.
like we end up doing stuff all the way out to like Smithville, Spicewood, Georgetown,
Yeah.
San Marcos. So it's like it makes sense to pull it from our whole MLS. So we're switching it up on you. I know I'm being really confusing.
But okay, so what was it this time last year?
John, I kid you not. It was 5,000-ish homes last year. It was 5,084.
Okay.
So that means we have decreased the number of available homes
55%.
by 50.9.
50.9%. Okay.
Yeah. Geez, John.
I memorized the stat wrong.
No, you're good.
If we were playing with one significant figure, I would have been close enough.
You would have. But
Almost
regardless, the fact that it is anywhere near the 50-ish mark and is above the 50-ish mark
Yep.
is
So,
insane.
and a lot of times we talk about this in a lot of videos, months of inventory and all that stuff, which is still super low because like how many are we selling?
You mean how, per month? Last month we sold 2,854. I would like to point out that we sold 2,854
Okay, and how
in a
many are
month
active?
where there are only 2,499. People are like, how is that possible, Alyse?
Yep.
Well, that means a good chunk of homes came on the market, and
That's how inventory shrinks. That's how it went from 5,000.
exactly. We ended up with less homes at the
2,400,
end
yeah.
of the month than we started with.
So even in this
more
tight
homes
market,
sold than were available.
our inventory is still shrinking. And we've been saying that like every video
I know.
for months.
I know.
Inventory
I know.
shrinking. I mean, it was expansive, I guess, maybe a year ago for
Yeah.
some point. I have to go back and look it up. But every month it's been shrinking.
Every month it has been shrinking. And it is, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to discourage you if this is the time you've been looking forward to buying a house. It's a little discouraging for buyers. Like, honestly, I don't want anybody to get foreclosed on. I don't. But, if we didn't have control over that and it happened and there were, a decent number of homes that came on the market, it might almost be a relief in that our buyers would have something
inventory
to
selling.
buy.
Yeah. And so this comes up a lot, right? Which is like, well, hey, you've got all this forbearance, all these foreclosures are coming. The world's going to end in 2021 in the housing market. Oh, maybe. I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but there are a couple things that are different, right? And so one is, those forbearances and foreclosures may get drawn out over the year versus how long would it happen.
Exactly.
We don't know if banks would all of a sudden wake up on Tuesday morning and say, hey, let's foreclose on every single one of them.
Yep.
Probably not likely. Although if there is an event that will cause that, I do think that it's going to be tax time because taxes are due and banks won't pay people's taxes. So if you can pay your property tax, banks will probably just let you continue in forbearance. If you can't pay your property tax, then that might create a bump in foreclosures.
Definitely.
However, there's also a lot of money looking for deals, right?
I mean, and the government may come up with some sort of like deferring your property tax or building it into. And
maybe, but I don't know. The government always wants their money. Banks, they can force the banks, they can strong arm them and say like, no, you're going to forbearance, but government, like, no, I need your tax dollars, please.
But I mean, on the other hand, they've come up with a variety of programs to
They might
help
give it.
people right
They
now.
might give it back to you in the
Yeah.
form of a stimulus check, but they're going to want their tax money. I guarantee you that government is not going to. Well, I can't guarantee it, but I would be very surprised if government decided to make tax payments deferred or later.
So on the other hand, with 2,854 homes selling per month, 5 to 6 months is considered a balanced market. So that would be 15 1,500 homes, so 15,000 homes would need to be on the market to have
to be balanced.
And we have less than 3,000. We have 2,000.
So that would be less than a month.
Yeah.
Now here's the problem with the using the months, metric to determine inventory, is that hey, if there's not enough to buy, then sales are going to slow because there's just not enough inventory. So that can also kind of create this false impression of like, well, let's say if sales slow down, then that month's of inventory could be long because you're only selling however many that you're selling a month.
Sure.
So another metric that's worth looking at is the percentage of homes that are for sale. And so that's like the number of homes for sale divided by the total number of homes in Austin.
Yeah.
So the current number of households in Austin, at least according to the 2019 census, is 409,000. So 1% would be 4,000 homes, and we're currently at 2,400, so that's like 0.5%.
Yeah.
And like a healthy market would be around at least 3%.
Wow.
And so it's kind of similar in terms of months versus percentage.
Sure.
But I think that's a better metric in many ways because it's just people aren't selling.
Definitely. Well, and it's important to note as well that that between September 2019 and September 2020, the number of sales actually went up 9.14%, despite the fact that the inventory, the stuff that was available to buy, went down by 50%.
Yeah, so it's accelerated buying, but that's totally human nature.
But get this, the number of homes
they're running out. Let me go get one.
Yeah. Well, but get this, the number of homes that sold in August versus September, that actually went down 12%.
Okay.
Right? So they're 12%. But I mean, if you think about it from the standpoint of there's
inventory, right?
There's just not so much to buy. Like we're out there fighting it out for contracts and for our buyers to get homes, and there's just not so to buy. So if you're holding onto a home and thinking about selling, just saying.
Yeah, just gotta figure out what your go-to plan is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. So let's look at this on what effect it's having on median home price. So why do we look at median home price instead of average?
Because average skews high because of the luxury homes. Someone sells a $10 million home and that offsets all the
suddenly average
$400,000 homes are now like, hey, they're all averaging 500. So
exactly.
We just look at the median.
So instead the median, if you remember from good old 8th grade, mean, median, and mode, median was the one where if you lined them all up from smallest to biggest, you pick the one in the middle, and that is your median. So it's we find it to be a little bit more representative of where the center of the market
your
is.
Your average, or maybe your median home buyer, right? No, that's a terrible term. If I say your median home buyer, people are gonna look at you weird.
That's true.
Except for the mathematicians.
So
John Pryor would appreciate that comment.
So what tends to happen to prices when inventory is low? Exactly.
They only go one place.
And so, I mean, Austin, if you look at the course of the last 15 years, most zip codes in Austin, they only dipped, 1 to 3 years for the 2008 crash, and then they kept on plowing up. A nice, healthy market is a 3 to 5% annual growth in home prices. And instead, between September 2019 and September 2020, it went from 325,000 to 369,000 for the whole MLS, right? So that is up almost 12%, 11.9%.
In previous videos, we've been saying numbers in like the 400 range, but that's,
awesome.
Again, it's a little bit different because that's going to be like Austin City Center versus all MLS. So
the entire MLS.
We're changing the way we do it a little bit.
And MLS means multiple listing service, and that means everybody who puts their homes into the Austin Round Rock, listing service that we exchange between us.
I just wanted to make it confusing.
And then what is it up between, August to September?
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
2.44%.
Okay, and that's in
1 month. Yeah. And I keep being like, these things can blip up and down and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, it keeps blipping up.
But it's been like
a couple percent every month.
After month after month.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, here's the thing. Again, and I know I sound like a broken record about this, with Tesla putting in a new factory, Amazon putting in a new distribution center, Facebook moving into town, Apple building a new campus, but they're like putting a hotel on their campus even.
We're also getting a lot of migrants coming from the coasts.
Yeah.
So the larger picture on the national market, and again, real estate markets are always local, but nationally they can still influence local markets, especially when it comes to migration. Because of COVID and because everyone is working from home, everyone's going, I don't have to live in this expensive city anymore.
Yeah.
So people are leaving California, they're leaving New York, and they're headed to Arizona, Texas, and Florida.
I mean, they're leaving everywhere and headed to Austin as far as I'm concerned. I feel like I'm helping people from the entire United States move into Austin. So, I mean, that's much my personal
Yeah, I mean, there's
take.
some really cool sites out there where
Yeah.
you can like watch where it goes specifically. I think like Orange County is going to Dallas is one of the big lines. And
Interesting.
there are a couple of others, but you know, at a high level, it's like New York, California, and I think maybe Illinois are all going to Arizona, Texas,
Interesting.
and Florida.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going for warmer weather. They're going for better business taxes.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got governors of California and New York just begging people not to leave, but they're just like taxes, in winters, and now my employer doesn't
Doesn't need
mandate that
me
I stay
here.
so
And also, by the way, I want to
out.
get someplace more laid back and such. So,
maybe I think it's the money and the weather.
of course you do. So now let's talk about South Austin in particular. So, so that was the entire Austin Round Rock MLS, and that goes out in many, many, many miles in all the directions. So, what about Austin and South Austin in
So
particular?
when we say South Austin, we're just counting below 290 or south of 290 and west of 35. So it's
Exactly.
that pocket, right?
Not down so far as Menchaca and Buda and all
Buda,
that. So north of
Those
that.
4 zip codes right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Let's see. So, number of homes available as of the end of September was 210. That is down 55%.
Oh my God.
Which is where you got that.
That's where the 55 came from.
55.1% from last year, same
Mm-hmm.
month. And it is down 9.48% since last month.
Yeah. So inventory continues to shrink. I think that's like 50 homes per zip code for sale.
Yeah.
You got 200 homes across 4 zip codes. Yeah. So
It is.
it is just it's
is.
boiling hot.
It is. It is. That being said, I mean, people are kind of like, oh, well, it's not worth that much. And I was like, unfortunately, if there are a lot of buyers that want to move into the area, it kind of is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, what about sell-through numbers?
actual sales.
Is it the same as the city?
It's worse. It's worse, John.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
In September of 2020, 324 homes sold in South Austin. So just to put that in perspective, there were 210 homes available and 324 sold.
Yeah.
So more than 50% more than was available
Must have been a couple more than that the previous month to
to squelch it down.
to chew it
but
out.
I mean, it's okay.
It's also similar to the city, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If it gets even more so.
What's interesting about that, though, is the number of sales is only down 4% from last year, but is down 16% from the previous month.
Yeah.
I.e., people are just kind of hitting a wall of what's available. And so get this, though, if the number of available homes is down 55% from last year, but the number of sales is only down 4% from last year.
Shrinking inventory still.
Oh my Lord.
Same
Okay.
story.
We got this. We got this. Whew.
Okay, so prices.
Yeah. What are prices going to do then, Bob?
Well, you can roll the dice on that one. Go up to. All right, what is it this time? So year over year, we're up what?
It's so we're at an average or median home price of $389,000.
Okay.
And last year's same time it was $343,500. So $343,000.
13% year over year.
Up 13%.
And this is the fun one. Month over month, what is it?
Month over month, it is 6.58%.
It's like half of it has been in the last month.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
the
it's
truth.
like, it's just weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it smells like a bubble, right? You're like, how could you possibly
I know,
maintain this?
and that's the thing is that you keep bumping up against that, and people are like, oh, foreclosures, that, and the other. You're like, Austin's unemployment never went as high as everywhere else.
Yeah.
It has huge influx of population, has a huge draw of culture. It has a huge and then all these companies opening up new campuses. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's looking more solid than it should.
Well,
given everything else.
Spring is typically when more stuff comes online.
Yeah.
Last spring,
Please,
we saw
more
the
stuff
exact
come
opposite
online.
of that because
Yeah.
of COVID. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what the next spring is like.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing how many people withdrew from the market when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's not like prices went down.
So maybe all that pent up desire to sell will come out next spring, and we'll see some more inventory.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
But we'll see. I mean, that's putting and that'll put pressure to make the volume of houses go up. But I still think that there are a bunch of investors. I have investor clients right now that are just passing because like things are just getting bid up too much.
Yeah.
But the money's there and it's waiting to pounce because everyone's just kind of like waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Right. But that's still going to be a function of inventory. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to build more or sell more.
Yeah.
Right? And so where are people going to go otherwise? It's a great time to be a builder, right?
It's a great time to
if
be
you
a
can
builder.
if you can find land.
Yeah.
But you know, like east of the city, you've got over there near 130. There's all that empty space. To me,
We're building one house.
Yeah,
Does that
that's where
count?
everything's.
We're going to contribute one house.
We're going to
to
add
the
one
pool.
house this year. One house. Well, we'll see. Maybe we can get two in if that one sells fast.
Yeah, exactly.
just one.
We're trying.
Yeah, that's our contribution to the market. There's the one house.
It's going to be a pretty house.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be really cool.
pretty
So
house.
that'll be a separate thing, but it's fun.
That'll be a whole other set of videos. So anyway, yeah, that is our market in a nutshell. These are John's stylish glasses, but we've discovered that they shine from the light
Oh yeah,
in
you can like
the
see
thing.
the UFO in them.
Exactly, the blue rings and everything like that. The beauty lights that we use to make ourselves look more attractive than real life.
Because you know, everyone can use the help.
Everyone could use the help. Anyway, today is also our 2-year-old's birthday.
Is
And
little
so-
bug is 2.
And so, and in classic realtor parent style, we planned her party for tonight this morning and bought her birthday presents in Target this morning and wrapped them. And so, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to go
Do the birthday thing for their
do the
2-year-old.
birthday thing for the 2-year-old. Smash the cupcake.
All right, thanks so much for watching, guys.
Mwah.
And we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Gotta go push the button.
Push the button. This is the button pushing dance.